Hello and welcome to the STB Racing League Season 16 Mexican Grand Prix. We welcome you all back again as we approach the final stages of the season. But tonight I'm joined by Rigsy X yet again in the commentary box. How are you tonight, Rigsy?
Thanks for the warm introduction, Mercury. It's great to be back once again for another race here on STB at Mexico City. I've been sitting enjoying the sweltering sunshine that we've been getting here in the UK, but the drivers will only be sharing that same feeling as the clouds are sitting looming over the circuit. So I'm looking forward to see if there's anything that could potentially develop for that. But no, I quite like to watch Mexico. I don't like to drive it per se, but I'm hoping that we can get some exciting racing underway in about 20 minutes' time.
Well, obviously another exciting return again. As I said, we are approaching the end of the season. Dominic does have a very big gap at the top of the championship. Bruno Will currently in second place with Eke just close behind. But yeah, we head to Mexico tonight. I think I would argue one of the best tracks on the circuit, maybe for racing. It can become a bit of a slipstream fest, which may be a bit of an issue tonight, but there's some good overtaking opportunities, I would say, Rigsy. I say especially into turn 1, turn 4, middle sector and last sector is a bit difficult, but as long as you can stay close behind, you can get yourself up for a launch out the final corner and into turn 1 especially.
Definitely, it really does depend how the drivers really go with the setup, because we can see the track telemetry on the right hand side and what the track layout actually looks like. We can see also the big straight into turn 1. It's the longest run down to the first braking zone in the full calendar, as well as the opportunity to overtake into turn 4. Second and third sector is a bit more technical and requires a bit more downforce and general grip, whereas the first sector is mainly just straight lines, so like they will be trying to maximise the top end speed in the cars. So trying to strike that balance will be quite critical for their actual race pace. I'm currently on board with Enzo, who's just ready to start his lap. He was the first one out, but what I noticed was there, Mercury, in our quick build up there, we normally do see that the drivers like immediately thrown on the setup that they're going to choose to go with the race. And then straight out onto the track within the first minute. The drivers were a bit more hesitant this time around, so I don't know if maybe they're tweaking a few things. Maybe they were expecting some rain, because it does look really dark here. So that can really play a big factor into how they prepare for their flying laps, and even if it can even affect the race if the weather is to follow through onto race day.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned earlier on, it is looking very overcast at the moment. A lot of drivers are out on track, so could be a looming chance of rain later on in the session, but I would have thought that everybody would be out on track if that was the case. But so far we have got a couple of people on the mediums for their first runs. We've got Eke, Irel Mati and Urban Unicorn all on the medium tyres for now. I think this is it's a very difficult track for tyre wear. I remember from when I last did it and talking pre-race, the tyre wear is very, very high, especially on those soft tyres. And so the one stop is very, very difficult during the race. So I think there will be a few people going for the alternate strategy of a two stop, and then there'll be half people trying to stick on that one stop.
The tyre degradation here in Mexico is like the actual degradation is really high, as you were saying, but there's like other factors that contribute to the actual tyre degradation and the general tyre wear on the circuit as well. Like if we're talking about the second and third sector, we can see it's a very technical and twisty piece of circuit, so that's generally going to make the front wheels work more, and it's going to generate the momentum shift from the car through the chassis onto the tyres, putting more pressure on it, putting more temperature in it, and the higher the temperature outside its main operating window is going to increase the tyre degradation. And I mean in the slipstream as well into turn 1 and 4, being in the slipstream for too long generally like relaxes the front end grip that you have into the braking zones, as well as increases the temperature. So temperature as well is really going to be a big factor here. And while we're mentioning temperature as well, kind of deflect it away from the tyres, we can talk about the engine as well. You don't want to stress the engine out. This track is actually really it's the highest in terms of altitude as well. So the engines will be quite they'll be kind of gasping for air at times because they need to be cooled in the clear air. And if you're going to be in the slipstream, then you can really damage your top end speed if the engine's overheating as well. So there is a lot for the drivers to weigh in and measure up against to see how they can actually maximise their chance for a good result.
Well, Riggs, we haven't yet mentioned actually in this session the champion can be crowned tonight. BLG Dominic out, as I said, in the lead by a big gap. If he outscores BRL Bruno Will, who we're on board with now, by 18 points, then he is the season 16 STB champion and he retains his title.
And that's going to sit and resonate with Bruno Will. I think that's going to completely change his approach to this race. I mean, Bruno Will is like an exceptional talent in the league, and he has given Dominic a fair run for his money throughout the course of the season. He's had like some exceptional drives throughout, but this is where it really matters here as he puts himself second on the grid. We are 14-1 there as he just came across the line, but Bruno Will, knowing that his title rival can seal the deal here tonight, will really be sitting here acting as a motivator for him to try and exert that bit more out of the car and tap into that tank where they can actually find a couple of tins, and he's definitely got the potential to do that. It's just a matter of whether he can fully utilise that and whether Dominic actually brings his A game, or what kind of luck Dominic runs into in the race as well. There's still 36 laps of this race, and qualifying position is still quite key here. So a good qualifying could maybe set him in good stead for a good race, but I mean, you never really know, and that's what the beautiful mystery is in STB. I like the unpredictability at times, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this showdown goes.
Well, we will also mention, obviously I said about Dominic can be crowned champion tonight. So after this race we've got USA next week, followed by Abu Dhabi the following week, and Brazil as the season finale. So we've only got 3 races after tonight. So realistically, for Bruno Will to give himself any chance of winning that championship, he needs to win tonight.
I think winning would be in his mind. I think also that winning is also putting yourself in the best possible stead to kind of keep the fight alive. And they're both sharing the front row. We've just got over 10 minutes left in the session. And the other thing we've got to kind of weigh in as well is, like, we're looking at the timing sheet just now, Mercury, and we're seeing like Libero in third with a 14.2, Hamjam's on a 14.2, Jamham's on a 14.3, and that's the kind of thing as well. That's not much slower than what Bruno Will set, and they do have the potential to find that extra couple of tens once the track rubbers in and the grip's there in the final minutes. So I feel like there will be like a complete reshuffle of what we're seeing here just now on the leaderboards. So I think pole position is still anybody's guess at this moment, despite Dominic having a bit of a gap, being the only man in the 13s. I still feel like there will be a fight right to the last minute, and that's what makes qualifying in STB so exciting, because we don't really know who's going to be on the front row until you know. Like, there's no like dominant qualifier, there's no just good on raw pace. Like, it's really competitive, and that's what makes the league great in its own unique way.
Well, I'm currently on board with Dominic Riggsy. As he comes across the line, he is up on his time, and he does go faster by 0.2 of a second. 13.7 puts him provisionally pole by 0.4 of a second to his closest rival.
And this is when Dominic is like asserting that kind of dominance once again, with putting in a faster time once again, but that's really just raising the bar in terms of pace, and it's up to his competitors to kind of like try and knock him off his perch here. But that 13.7 is going to really sit in the mind of the drivers as they're on their laps, knowing that that's the time to beat. So Dominic really kind of putting his foot out here and trying to build as much of a gap as he possibly can and try and rubber stamp that kind of authority on this race. So I'm very much looking forward to see what challenge the drivers can bring to that time. But I'm looking through the leaderboards just now, and I'm not really noticing too much. There is still like some drivers at the bottom there. Toxic Fusion, Eke, and Urban Unicorn yet to set a time. Eke bailed on his time just there coming into the pits. I don't know if he made a mistake on his lap somewhere. Urban Unicorn currently sitting and 17th and last in the session. Is on a flying lap at the moment. He is coming through the S section.
Well, we'll cut you off very briefly, Riggsy. I've just gone on board with Libero, and he is 4/10 up purple to the middle sector, so he could possibly go for provisional pole here as he comes across the line, just misses out.
Oh!
2 thousandths of a second separate the top two. Libero with a great lap there. How
and
close
that's the
can
kind of
you
thing
get?
as well. And that's the thing as well, Mercury. Like Libero is that kind of driver that we've seen in this season. Like I mean, like not to sound discouraging, but in the first races he wasn't really there. He was still fighting for points and decent results. But see of late, like see after he's won in Silverstone, it's been almost as if it's like he's been reborn and he's fired up, and we've just been seeing consistent results and a constant rise in his performance since. And I'm very much loving it. 2,000 to a second off pole position, and he's really got Dominic here by the horns. So he'll be having to analyse his lap and see where he can improve to try and keep Libero at bay, because I feel like Libero does have time to find once again. So I've got like a lot I can sing Libero's praises to no end. He has definitely improved, and it's been one of the noticeable improvements, Becky. You've seen it over time, and he's just getting better as the races go.
Well, he's been a very unfortunate driver this season. He hasn't had the best of luck. We've seen it in Japan. He had it coming together. Obviously, his stand-up race for me, I would say, would have been Silverstone. Obviously, getting his first victory in STB, judging the safety car to perfection at the end. But he has had some very difficult moments this season. Obviously, as I said, Germany as well, a race where he's had it coming together. Not necessarily his fault, and obviously he's lost out big time with points as Bruno Will invalidates in the middle sector. He was 2/10 up as well, so that shows that Bruno Will does have the pace if he can get that final lap in.
And there's Hamjam gone third there with the 13.8, so this is the times really starting to come down as Jamham makes a late call coming into the pits there. He missed the pit entry line and just cut across the bit of tarmac that separates the pit lane from the track there, so it was a late call for himself or the team, either or. One of them made the call. I'm looking to see who else is on a lap at the moment.
Like just Maudi and Matty, I believe. I think the others are coming in for
all I'm really seeing.
Stops. Sorry for the fresh rubber. 5 minutes left in the session. Those that are out on a lap will make it back in with another lap, hopefully. But we are on board with Maudi currently. Obviously didn't have the best return last week in Japan, but looking to make amends tonight.
He'll definitely be looking to put the demons for last weekend to bed and hope that he can start anew. But he was saying that Mexico is one of his circuits, so maybe we could see that kind of influencing his performance as it comes into the third sector. He's only got this turn and the final turn left to navigate. Was he invalidated there?
Just at the fire, yeah, just the penultimate corner. Yeah. That's unfortunate for him. It looks like Dominic's invalidated his lap as well. He was a 10th up, but he's invalidated somewhere before the middle sector. So he does have time to go again, but he's not got the ERS. So I'm not sure if he may pit for a fresh set of rubber, or if he's going to stay out. But we'll see what he does. Yeah, he comes into the pit lane for a fresh set of rubber. I think he invalidated quite early on. Eke, sorry, up to P5, we missed that with 14.2.
Eke was just in front of the Haas 8 Urban Unicorn there and just put the lap in. He's 5th fastest at the moment, 14.2. He's splitting Bruno Will and Jamham, sits on the third row. For all the time that Eke didn't have a timer in the session for his first flying lap, they put him in the top 5. It's quite a strong shout, but he'll be sitting there thinking how he can go quicker, and he knows he can go quicker. But we are able to enter the final laps here in the session with just over 3 minutes remaining, and this has been a trickle step, being like just packed full of cars. It was like Sunday traffic trying to find some space for the lap, as well as trying to maximise slipstream down into turn 1 and 4 without getting too caught up in the slipstream and the second and third sectors. So trying to find that balance will be key for the drivers as well once everybody comes back out onto the circuit. No noticing too much as I'm on board with Jamham, but he is on an outlap. at the moment. Enzo as well, just on an outlap. He's in the third sector.
Well, most people are still in the
and
pits
McLaren.
at the moment.
They can leave it as late as around the 1 minute 40 mark, but we'll start seeing them flooding out just now. I think 140 is like the absolute latest you can
Dominic's
leave
out on the
it
track.
before coming out the pit and come and run.
Yeah.
So I think drivers will want to come out now so they know. And plus, we could have that same timing glitch again, Mercury, like because we seem to have it on quite a frequent basis. So we might probably have that once again. So maybe the clock is like further down or a bit slower or faster or whatever. But we are 2 minutes on our clocks here. Everybody will be coming out to put in a final lap to determine their place on the grid for the race here in Mexico. Urban Unicorn's down by half a second. He'll not be looking to improve. Jam's down by 2.5 seconds.
Jamham's just invalidated as well at turn 3. So that's unfortunate for him. He will have enough time for another lap if he's got the fuel for it. But leave Enzo. No, Enzo's invalidated his lap also. Kyle just coming to start his lap now. But we will go on board with Domi. He's just come across the line. Start a lap, I think. So I think most people haven't actually started a lap yet, but I think Dominic has just started a lap, so we will stay on board with him, Riggsy. He's looking to pick up a bit of a tow from the car ahead and into turn 1.
Dominic.
So yeah, here we go then. Is this going to be the pole position lap for Dominic? Set him up for what he hopes to be his second championship in STB. He's getting a bit of a slipstream from his teammate here as well. So that's good teamwork from the two Red Bulls. He is a 10th up in the middle, in the first sector, sorry. So Dominic is looking quick so far on this lap. I believe Bruno Will has just started his lap as well. He's coming up into turn 1 now, so we will see what these two in particular will be able to do. And will Libero or Hamjam be able to throw themselves onto pole position?
I still feel pole position's anybody's guess as we watch Dominic coming through into the final sector here under the Fanatec board into the stadium section.
He is
Slows
still
the car
up.
down into. He is up there on the timing screens there. A quick downshift to first there to help him with turn in. Takes a good bit of the inside there on the penultimate turn, but out through the final turn, relaxes the steering, but keeps it tight to the pit wall here. And he's improved by 66,000 to a second. It's no much, but it's an improvement.
Is it going to be enough? Bruno Will's invalidated. Bruno Will was invalidated his lap. So it looks like Libero and Hamjam are probably going to be his biggest rivals at this point. Hamjam just coming into the middle sector, so we will watch his lap as it unfolds here. And it looks like he's invalidated as well, Riggsy.
He's turned the ERS down to none there, so I think he is just bailing on this lap.
Well, we seem to have a timing glitch
well,
again,
Mercury.
so I'm not sure if he will be able to go for another lap or not. The session is up on our screens, but nobody has the checker flag yet, so I believe he's got enough time to go for another lap. Is that the same for Dominic?
You're right there, Mercury. I've just jumped on board Bruno. Oh, that's a checker flag now. Bruno will still get time for another lap.
He's made it to the line, so we will stay now with Bruno Will. He's going to need to get himself up the order. 5th place is not a good starting place for him. He's going to have to make this 1 lap count now. So Dominic currently on provisional pole positions with a 13.7, but that is the best he's going to do. Libero did improve in the end, but not by much, as Bruno Will was only slightly up in the first sector.
He's going to have Toxic Fusion there on the double apex. They're trying to keep out the wide. The Alpha have to take to the escape road there, the AstroTurf there on the wider part of the circuit there as Bruno Will comes into the SE's. Checker flag.
Oh, he's gone wide. He's made a mistake,
and he's made a mistake. Over.
And Bruno Will has retired. That is it. That's his qualifying done. He was like P5 at best. Eke's invalidated his lap. It looks like Jamham is on a lap, so we'll see what he can do. But no, he's backed off as well.
He's run out of fuel. Mercury's coasting back.
He's also given up on his lap. So that is your grid for the Mexican Grand Prix. Dominic starts on pole. Libero pushed him all the way, but couldn't quite find that half a tenth that you needed for pole position. But he starts on the front row alongside. And it looks like Buckley up to P4 as well. Very strong lap from him at the end. We didn't quite catch that. So P4, a very strong starting position for him.
I'm starting to think that maybe the front row isn't where you want to be, considering how long the run down to turn 1 is.
Well, we saw it last
If you
year,
could
didn't
get...
we, Rigsy? I think it was Eke and Dominic on the front row, and followed behind was, I believe, me, Gravity, and one other, and the slipstream into turn 1 is just immense. I think it's 900 meters to turn 1, run down to turn 1. So possibly those starting on the second or third rows will have a good advantage here. But here is your grid for the Mexican Grand Prix. It's VRG Dominic on pole position, KF Libero just behind, Hamjam in third, Sink Buckley, a good qualifying for him, P4. Urban Unicorn starts P5 alongside BRL Bruno Will. TX3 Enzo on his return, he's in 7th place. Eke down in 8th place, not where he wants to be in the last few races of the season. Jamham in P9, and Gravity rounds out top 10. So we'll have to see in the race session if there is any rain as well, because that will spice up the strategy calls. Obviously, with any safety cars that will possibly make an appearance in this Grand Prix.
Definitely, like a single safety car can literally throw the race on its head. Like, anything can happen
It's
in this race.
raining.
And it is raining!
Yeah, it's rain. The heavens have opened at the start of this race. We're not sure how long it's going to last for, but it was looking overcast in quali. We questioned to see if it was going to come later in the session. It never did, but the start of this session at least is going to be on intermediates for all the drivers, I would assume. But yeah, another wet race, Rigsy, this season.
I think when we were questioning it early on why we didn't see so many drivers rushing out the pits, because that was quite a common theme to get the setup on immediately and head out to get a feel for the circuit. Like, we never saw that really early on. They waited a good couple of minutes there, so maybe I'm like maybe like as a form of defence for drivers that we should see it like further up the grid. Like, I mean, like Bruno Will's an example there, 5th fastest there. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're starting to think about it, the third row is the worst place to start, especially when there's such a long run down to turn 1. But maybe he has put an extra bit of front wing or rear wing on that car to make it that bit slower, anticipating this rain. And I would assume that other drivers have done likewise. So maybe that's why we've not really seen maybe like drivers that we expect to be at the front actually putting in quick times, and they've just like anticipated the weather coming for the race day, because that's what the points are at the end of the day.
Well, I think that's a very good point, Rigsy, but I mean, if we flash back to last week as well, obviously the wet qualifying and dry race, we were assuming that Bruno Will being, 7/10 clear of second place, if he was running a wet setup, but his race pace was just as strong, so it's going to be an interesting one to say the least. But everybody is on intermediate tyres. It looks very, very light, so possibly there could have been a risk of going on to the dry tyres. I know that has been a feature before, but yeah, they're all starting on the intermediate tyres in this race.
And that's the thing there as well, Mercury. Just like watching on board, like, I'm not seeing too much spray being kicked up with intermediates either. I mean, it'll probably look a lot different actually being in the cockpit of these cars when the spray's just like splashing into your face and into your visor. But the rain doesn't really look that heavy, like you were saying. It's a very light drizzle. So whether it's going to really, is it going to improve at some point in the race? Is it going to stay like this all race? Is it going to get heavier? Like, we don't know. We don't have that information, and that's why I'm so excited, because we don't know what's going to happen. And there's 36 laps of this. I'm actually really excited now. Like, I'm really buzzed for this race.
Well, Dominic in prime position to take his second championship in STB. He's still got a lot of work to do in these 36 laps that we are about to commence. Bruno Will down in P6, not where he wanted to have started, of course, but we know that he's got the pace, especially in the wet, so we'll see what he can do in this race as Dominic now comes up to line up for his grid slot. We do have a big gap down to Eke for some reason. Not sure what's happening there, but
it's the mind games are kicking in.
Possibly.
The mind games are kicking in.
Yeah, Maudi now coming to the final corner. He is also a long, long way back, so I think stewards will have a look at that as well. But everybody else is now lined up on the grid as we wait for STB Maudi to line up in 17th position. As he takes to his grid slot now.
This.
So it's 1 light, it's 2 lights, it's 3 lights, it's 4 lights, it's 5 lights. They were held for a very long time. And it's lights out and away we go. We'll see who goes on board, see if it gets a better start here. It looks pretty even. There's a lot of changes at the back as we see St. Buckley already side by side with Cara Fliro. They're going to be 3 wide into turn 1. As Dominic is ahead, they're 5 wide at one point. Buckley, and there's a bit of contact with Bruno Will. Bruno Will's been spun, but he's been completely spun around now. Bruno Will looks to be out of it. Looks like Jamham taken to the escape road. TX3 Enzo's had an incredible start up to P2. But there was a bit of contact there into turn 1. I'm not sure. They seem to go 5 wide. And 5 into 1 doesn't go. And Buckley's up the inside of Enzo. There's a bit of contact. Enzo keeps the position for now. Well, it's an interesting start, Roxy. As he's still up the inside. He's put his nose in. But that's a dreadful
Buckley
start.
just showing
down into P17.
Bruno Will no getting the start that he needed there. I think Buckley got a bit of a twitch under braking into turn 1, and Bruno Will was having a look up inside of Buckley, which is a bit risky in itself, but the twitch for the Toro Rosso kind of gave the Renault a bit of a shove there, a wee bit of the elbow there on the inside of 1, and it's just threw the Renault into a spin. So Bruno Will's going to today fade the back.
Jamham's up the inside. Sorry, that's Urban up the inside of VRT Eke. Is he going to make the move stick around the outside? No, Eke outbreaks him. Doesn't quite get the move done there. You see drivers already going for big move. Oh, he's touched the back of Danny as well. Eke has touched the back of Danny there, but he is now at the inside going for the final corner. They're both with a big twitch coming up the straight, but Eke's got the move done on DJ Danny. But now Urban Unicorn slipstreaming as well. And Danny's going to fight back as well. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? It looks like Urban Unicorn's got the inside line and he breaks the latest. Urban Unicorn gets that move done, and Danny's also... Danny's back on the outside, they're side by side. Oh, this gives him a squeeze. Danny's been forced off a little bit. And now Eke's going to get the switch back and he's going to go around the outside of Urban. Danny is still there on the inside, but Urban comes him off. They're going to be 3 wide again. Urban holds the position, but he goes around the outside. It's going to be 3 wide again, Riggsy. And Danny's up the inside. No, Eke's up the inside. Eke's got a position into P6. Danny and Urban making a bit more contact, and Danny's forcing him completely off. Zephyr Gravity's looking to get involved in this now. And Eke is the winner out of all of that, but Gravity now side by side with Urban Unicorn into the middle sector. He gets the move done on the outside. Can he hold it through the middle sector? They're going side by side, and Gravity gets the move done. A good move from him. But Eke, the big winner out of all of that. But Urban's fighting back again, Riggsy.
And you just can't separate these drivers at the minute. You've got like his teammate, the Williams and the Haas, Matty and Jamham going side by side behind just as well there. So it was Williams and Haas at the front there, and it was Williams and Haas right behind as well.
Just cars everywhere.
It's just drivers are really brave.
Churka as well.
Just keeping getting the elbows at any possible opportunity.
Well, it's been a lively start. We're only on lap 3, Riggsy. Obviously no DRS due to the wet weather conditions, but there's going to be side by side again. It looks like Jamham's going for the move on Matty again. As he is side by side, he gets the move done. Matty has to back out of that one. So a good move from Jamham makes turn 1, but will... it looks like Churka's had an incident with somebody. He's had a half spin. He's not been affected too badly. We'll go Urban now, looking to make a move on Danny. They make a bit of contact again. These two drivers, they've been... Oh, he's hit him again! These two drivers have had a lot of coming togethers in the past. There's a bit of bad blood, I think. And that is shown already on these first 3 laps in Mexico.
Definitely we want to broadcast the blood.
As we look out front, Dominic has extended gaps 2.5 already. So he is storming away.
Dominic really stretching the legs in the early stages of this race. He's got a 2.9 second gap to Enzo, who got a really good start off the line there. Could he go?
Well, I think he started P7, didn't he, Riggsy?
He's up. I went for 72nd. It was up 5 places by the time we got to turn 4.
Enzo's
so I don't know what's happened there, but he's in the
into
pits. I don't think he picked up any damage. He was running second in clear air.
He has, I think.
He's got damage.
Plate, yeah. Front wing change.
He's on dries.
And he's onto the softs.
He's on softs.
So he's the first driver, and we've got a few into the pits actually. Eke, Matty, Fusion, Bruno, Will. Are they all going to go onto the soft compound tyres? They are. Matty goes onto the hard tyres. So they're taking a gamble.
No, see, that's the thing there, Mercury. I don't think it's... I mean, if it's ready for dries, it's definitely not ready for hards, though, because it takes so long to heat the hard tyres up when the track's this cool. Matty's going to have a really hard time heating up the tyres and getting the car into the shape, having to control that.
DRS is
enabled, so
DRS is enabled, so this could be...
Matty's away. See, that's
could be a very good strategy call from those. And this is massive for Bruno Will.
But Bruno Will needs to make quick work of Eke and Enzo and Matty there on front.
Well, there's a massive battle. It looks like Matty somehow got ahead of Fusion and Bruno, and Bruno's now getting attacked by Fusion. It's going to be 3 wide. And Bruno's just been forced
Bruno
off.
Will's off the track.
And there's a bit of contact again. He's just caught up in all of this. This is not what he needs for his championship hopes, but he's going to try and go back up the inside, but in to the middle sector. He doesn't... Oh, Matty's had a massive slide.
You can see it there. You can see it there, Mercury. Matty's not got the temperature and he's not getting the grip because the tyres are just not heating up in these cool conditions. The softs are fine. Look, you can see Eke's just drove off at the distance. Bruno Will's struggling to get past. He needs to make the move. Is he making it here? Yes, he is. Up the inside.
But now we're going to have to see where he's going to plant. And Dominic's already at the pit exit. Dominic is out of the pits already. And Bruno Will is not even at the final... Not even at the final corner.
There's still a long way in this race, Mercury, but Bruno Will just too caught up. I think like he would have been way Eke's only a few seconds down the road.
Eke's going to be coming side by side with Gravity into turn 1. Gravity just
goes round the outside.
He gets the move done. Gravity not quite got the mediums to a working temperature, so he didn't want to fight that one. But yeah. Oh, massive side from Gravity there on the exit, as I said about his tyres not quite being in the right temperature window, but Dominic has got past Maudi, who's decided to stay out along with Churka on the intermediate tyres. I don't think that was the right call from them, but we will have to see if they come into the pits this lap.
And the biggest loser out of everybody pitting so far, Mercury, is Domi, the only driver to pit and come back on intermediates. With a fresh set of intermediates, so he's wasted a full pit stop there, being caught out by the change of conditions. Everybody's onto the dries, but Domi came in and these teams kept on the intermediates, so he's wasted a pit stop effectively. But Churka and Maldi should be coming in as they exit the final corner. Churka's in, Maldi should be following him in as well, which he does. And Dominic has a bigger lead than what he had
kept the inside at the final
tyre
changes. He was looking very feisty on Danny to try and get the move done. He's looking a lot quicker, and he does get the move done, as Bruno Will behind looking to get the move done on F1 Gravity as well. As you see, Churka and Maldi have lost quite a lot of time, I think, staying out on those intermediate tyres. But Eke up into P7, Bruno Will up into P9.
But it's... I'm looking through. Bruno Will is up into 9th. And he is right there with DJ Danny and Eke as well, so he can keep his championship hopes alive.
There's a big old scrap for P12 if you want to go on board with this one. Yep. Oh, Matt, he throw up the inside of Jamham, he won't. He thinks better of it. But now Kyle trying to get a move. It looks like Matty's really struggling on these hard tyres as Kyle tries to make a move right around the outside. Matty holds the position for now. Jamham managed to get past these, which was vital for his race. But we see Enzo now coming past Sink Buckley into the final sector. There's a bit of contact. Enzo seemed to cut across Buckley a bit there, but Buckley seems to have got away with that one. That was right on the limit again from those two, though. It's Dominic out in front since the fastest lap of the race.
The driver control there for Buckley was enough to keep the car in a straight line and to keep it facing in the right direction there. Enzo gave him a cheeky tap round the outside. And almost flew him into a spin, but Buckley held it together there as Bruno Wills went and set the fastest lap. He's got Eke liberal right there as well.
He's got a massive toe from the cars behind it. He could have got the... Oh, bit of contact! Bit of contact on the back of Eke again, and Eke's locked up. They're going to go side by side. Turns 1, 2 and 3. Will Eke get a good enough launch out of turn 3 to make a move? He's in the slipstream. Is he going to go up the inside? He half goes for it. He doesn't quite commit to it. And Libero stays in front of Eke for the time being. As now Bruno Will's going to try and fight him. And he is up the inside. And he's got the move done.
Eke wide.
And Bruno Will's got the move done on Eke. That is vital for his race as well. He is looking fast. If he can get past the cars in front, he still has a chance in this race.
Definitely, and with the way that the championship standings would look, Bruno Will's championship hopes lie literally on a fine line because it's an 18-point difference at the moment. You said it was 18. Dominic had to outscore Bruno Will by?
Yes.
It was 18, yep. It's literally right on the line. It's an 18-point difference, and now Dominic does hold the fastest lap as well. So it's right on the cusp if the checker flag was to be waved. And that's the same again there, Mercury. Liberal's on that hard tyre strategy as well, so he's not going to be quick. He's not going to have that same grip because the track.
Makes easy work of him.
Easy
it may
pickings
work out
there
for
for
them
the
in the long run is the question. Obviously, they might try to go into the end of this race, Ritzy. I mean, we saw it in Japan with Jam Ham and Ham Jam, obviously pitting very, very early under the safety cars. Eke and Libero side by side. Libero is fighting this, but Eke's got the grip on the soft tyres and he gets the move done. Up into P7 in this race.
Libero perfectly entitled to fight for his position there, but Eke on these soft tyres and even DJ Danny and Gravity right there on the mediums will make quick work. The Alpha driver here as he's struggling to get some heat into the hards. But as you were saying, Mercury, this is probably the long game that they're trying to play here, saying like Matty, Maldi and Domi all at the back of the field, all in the hard tyre, and they're just going for the longevity, while the other drivers are going to make one, maybe even two further pit stops in this race. So they're valuing the long haul rather than just quick busts. So really interested to see how that goes, but they've had a very shaky start in the dry conditions with the hard tyres, simply because the temperature's just no there. But Danny's in the slipstream of Libero, and he's up the inside. Libero not really putting up too much of a fight there either, as Chucker goes fastest with the fastest lap there.
Fusion up the inside of Gravity into turn 1. He's made light work of him as well on the soft compound of tyres. So he's looking to get himself up in this race as well.
Definitely looking to try and get himself into the points. Toxic Fusion as well has got his teammate in front as he looks up the front left into turn 4. Doesn't even hit the apex of 5, so a really bad sequence of corners there. Not the Alpha driver there, but he's got his teammate in front, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see Libero concede the position to his teammate and let Toxic Fusion chase after Danny and Eke and the likes further up the road. But Libero really is interested in playing the long game here with the hard tyres.
Slide, sorry, in the background there. It's a massive moment for him on the exit of the middle sector. I'm not sure if he's struggling with overheating tyres. Massive slide for him on the exit. As we see him trying to keep hold of this train, basically, and hope that it drags him along. So we see Bruno Will setting the fastest lap of the race. He is responding to the times that Dominic is setting. He is quite a distance off of the race lead. So we see Buckley up the... Oh, they made a contact again, Enzo and Buckley. Buckley seemed to have made the move into turn 1. They went side by side, and there was a bit of contact into turn 2. As you see now, Enzo's not going to be able to fight back as Buckley has got the DRS into turn 4. So Buckley now up into P3 in this race. Obviously Enzo on the medium tyres as well.
Enzo just can't keep his car off Buckley at the minute. There's been a couple of love taps between the pair of them in the early stages, but Buckley makes his way past the racing point once again as they keep battling for the final podium position, while Urban Unicorn has Bruno Will for company for the S's. So Bruno Will really starting to eat into the gaps that sit in front, and he's going to have the Haas right in front. And with the way Bruno Will's pace has been gone, Mercury, I wouldn't be too surprised to see him make the move into turn 1.
We'll
with the
keep an eye on
DRS
that.
in
We will
effect.
also keep an eye on Fusion as well. He has caught right up to the back of the Libero, and there's a big old train forming for P8 in this race as well. So we'll go on board with Bruno Will down this straight, see if he can get the move done on Urban Unicorn. He will have DRS assistance. He's up into overtake mode, and Urban Unicorn's just harvesting energy, so he's not fighting Bruno Will. He knows that that's not his race at this stage. As we flip back to train behind, no moves into turn 1 from any of those guys. But, oh, Fusion,
And
big lock up into turn 1.
oh, and the
That's gonna be
penalty.
But now Gravity's going to be right in the slipstream, but Fusion with the DRS from his teammate is going to be able to hold the position. He goes deep again.
I don't know
Fusion
what's...
really struggling on those soft compounded tyres.
He's seeming to get his references mixed up here, Mercury. He gets a bit of a slide on the exit of 6 as well. Fusion's not really looking too confident here, and he's not even getting past his teammate. I don't know if maybe the soft tyres have maybe seen the best of their life, and it's the end of their life cycle, but Toxic Fusion just really struggling. A few low cups into turn 4, and when you make a mistake into the break in the 4, it really unsettles the car, and it completely derails your opportunity to take 5 perfectly as well. So you get a quick lack of confidence through there if you're missing the braking zone for 1, because it greatly affects the other. Toxic Fusion hasn't even keeping up with his teammate in the third sector either. So
No, Gravity's looking to make the move possibly here. I think he will have DRS from his teammate. No, he doesn't. He has not got DRS to his teammate. And Gravity's going to fly by down the straight here. It looks like Jamham's going to try and follow him. And Fusion's not putting up a fight to either of these drivers. But he hits the back of Gravity!
Gravity attack.
He's missed his braking zone again. He's hit the back of Gravity. He may have a bit of front wing damage. Gravity seems to get away with that one. As now Jamham and Fusion side by side through turn 3. Juicer's going to have the inside line, but Jamham with DRS is going to pull it away. And he gets the move done on Fusion into turn 4. So Fusion really struggling on those soft tyres. He has a massive slide in the exit again.
I think the tyres are short, Mercury. There's just absolutely nothing there for the tyres to offer to Fusion at this part of the race. Just really struggling in all fronts here. Just a stray. He's just a sitting duck for most of these drivers that have gone by him on the soft tyres. Even Jamham, he's only ran the softs for 1 lap less, and he seems to have so much more grip. So maybe Toxic Fusion's tyre management's really kind of
you see though,
the back end of it.
Danny has caught right up to the back of Eke in the last lap. He is now in DRS range, so I think the softs are starting, as you said, to sort of end their life cycle. They just seem to not have any grip. As we see, Jamham is the first to pit on the soft runners. But we'll ride on board with Danny as he looks to go for a move down the inside. He thinks better of it into turn 1. But Eke goes a bit deep. He may be trying to set himself up for a move into turn 4, as we've seen so many drivers do. And he is right on the back of Eke now. He's going to be having DRS and slipstream. He flicks out to the right hand side, and he gets the move done very, very easily into turn 4.
Easy pickings there for the Red Bull driver there. Eke, I think you're perfectly right in terms of tyre life for the softs. I think they're pretty much gone at this point. Jamham pitted for the hard tyres, so he's going to go to the end there as well. So I'm starting to see, we'll start to see some pit action at this point. Jamham will probably have triggered the domino effect for the soft runners on lap 13 of 36, as we're just hitting just over a third of the way through the race. Dominic does continue to go around again. Hamjam does. Hamjam stays out as well. Yep. Everybody, Enzo stays out as well. Bruno Will stays out. Some, I don't know.
Well, I will mention.
Maybe.
We were saying about the gap to Dominic, between Bruno Will and Dominic in this race. It has cut down to around about 13 seconds. So he looks like the quickest driver out on track currently. As we see Churka coming into the pits also.
Bruno Will is in a bit of clear air as well, sitting 5th at the moment. Regardless of what happened in the first stint for the Renault driver, he is definitely at least making some gains rather than losses for a change. As he's up in 5th and he's chasing Enzo, who has dropped off the back of Buckley as the medium tyres kind of really start to find a groove at this point. So Buckley will probably be looking to try and make some work into Ham. But Ham and Dominic there as well, Mercury, seeming to keep the tyre life in a good window for them. They've not really dropped off too much, and the gap hasn't even changed significantly between the two leaders either. So both of them kind of lapping at very similar pace at this stage.
Well, Eke seems to be struggling as Libero is quite literally pushing him through the middle sector. He's going to try and line up a move on those hard tyres. I wouldn't be surprised if Eke does come into the pits at the end of this lap, because his pace has dropped off significantly. He's already 1.6 behind Danny, who's only just made the move in the last lap. So we see Enzo, the first to pit, as Eke stays out. Eke stayed out, so we'll see what tyres Enzo goes on in this race. He's
Oh,
onto
and
the hard
Dominic's got a
tyres.
5-second penalty.
Dominic?
Dominic's got a 5-second penalty. He's just got a straight 5-second penalty for
Ooh.
corner cutting.
We missed that then. I'm not sure if he had a moment, possibly into turn 1. As we missed also, Libero's made the move on Eke down that straight, and Gravity's looking to line him up as well into turn 4 again. But that may be looked at in the steward's room as Gravity now side by side with Eke as Eke lets him go through. Eke really struggling on the pace now, just as Fusion was a few laps ago. But yeah, that could possibly be looked at. We saw it last week in Japan. The stewards did decide that the penalty given to Hamjan was unfair and that it was wiped off, and he was given his podium. But we'll have to see at the end of the race if it even affects him or not. Obviously, he's got an 8-second gap currently.
Dominic even goes round again. If I was Hamjam, I'd probably come in and try and trigger it, which he does. Hamjam's coming in, trying to get Dominic to blink there, but I think you're right in saying there, Mercury. I think Dominic might have just been a really hard lock up into the braking zone of turn 1, because that's where he was when I seen the penalty coming up on the screen. I never saw the incident for myself, but I think he will be on the phone to the stewards trying to see if he can get that removed. For a blatant, I mean, it was a blatant corner cut, but I mean, I think it might have just been a mistake on his part, and we'll really need to just kind of see what the stewards think of that, like you were saying there as well. But Hamjam's onto the mediums.
Yep,
Maybe that's why the soft runners like
thing.
Eke are stretching this run, is to try and get them onto that medium window.
So we'll have to, I think that's possibly why Dominic and Bruno Will are staying out. They want the fresh rubber for the end of the race. As Eke will come back onto the track just behind Churka in P15 now. But the gaps seem to have just they've just seemed to got bigger in these last few laps. There's nobody in the DRS range at the moment apart from Eke. Apart from Urban Unicorn, who is making ground on Bruno Will, as we were talking about the soft tyres, obviously going off now around about the 10 laps, 10, 11 laps. Oh, Urban with a massive, he's locked all 4 wheels heading into the final sector. And a massive slide on the exit.
Oh, Dominic's getting he's serving it penalty.
Oh.
He's serving it.
So Dominic has served his penalty. He's into the pits on a set of mediums. Bruno Will pits as well.
Hamjam's stuck behind Toxic Fusion coming through the final turn now. Dominic's still in the pit lane, Mercury. This could be close.
Well, Fusion has pitted.
Through the final turn.
We'll have a look to see where Dominic, he is coming out now. He is going to come out ahead of Hamjam by about 2 seconds, which is about what the gap was, 2-3 seconds, if you account for the 5-second penalty. But we'll see if Hamjam's got the pace to take the battle to Dominic. It's smaller than I thought, Briggsy. It's 1.5. That's 1.3 now. So Ham needs to push. He has got DRS from Fusion the previous lap. But if he can make these tyres, if he can make these tyres work and get in that DRS zone for the next lap whilst Dominic's heating up, then I don't see why he can't take the battle. As we see Bruno Will, making a move on Matty, as you were saying.
That's the kind of thing there as well, Mercury. Dominic's penalty, regardless of the nature of how he was awarded the penalty in the first place, is really gave Hamjam's race a bit of new light and a bit of a fresh breath there. Because it's so easy to chase somebody in Formula 1 than to be chased yourself. So Hamjam's going to see Dominic right there in plain view, and that's going to be a really strong motivator for the Mercedes driver to try and claw him in and try and make the move. Regardless of how the penalty came for Dominic, I think Hamjam's got a new burst of life in this race.
Well, it's definitely going to motivate him to push that extra bit, I think, as he sets the fastest lap of the race. We are currently watching the battle for P11. STB Maldi's holding up a big train behind him. So he should have to pit again in this race, but we'll see what he can do with this big old train. Obviously, Eke, Churka and Jamham want to get a move on here with their fresh tyres. They're all in a big old train. But Jamham's got a big old slipstream, and Maudi doesn't fight it, so Jamham does make the move stick. So we see Churka's going to try and follow him into turn 1. He has got the move done. Maudi again doesn't fight, and he lets Eke through as well, so all 3 drivers have got the move done on Maudi. And they will be looking to try and catch up to the back of Matty and Bruno Will.
Maudi just kind of running his own race at this point, knows that that's not his fight. But for the 3 drivers that passed him, they're all in the fight between each other for 11th place at the moment. But let's see what else. I mean, you're right in saying there, Mick, there's nobody else really in DRS activation other than this battle here that we're watching for P11, as we see Chukka picking up a penalty there for that creative line through there in the 2nd sector. But not really too much going on. Dominic and Hamjam are just, it's just over a second, so Hamjam's
he is cutting it down.
Dominic,
he's in DRS.
Definitely.
He hasn't got it this lap, but he is in DRS range. So he has got the pace by the looks of it. We'll see when he comes up to gravity what well, if he gets a bit of a boost with the slipstream, or if he actually loses out in the middle sector. It looks like he's going to catch him going into the middle sector. You see Churka make a move onto Jamham before even turn 1's near. So yeah, he was a good exit. As we see Kyle retiring from this race. He's had a quiet race, but he's retired into the pit lane.
He got a 5-second speeding penalty into the pit lane there, and I think that was maybe the final nail in his coffin there. But the thing here as well, Mercury, is Hamjam is right behind Dominic here. Dominic's stuck in traffic with gravity in the 2nd sector.
And he's being held
so
up.
It's going to help his DRS.
The gap is 7/10, so he has got into the DRS if he can just hold this gap. And yeah, I would assume obviously Dominic's going to breeze past gravity down this straight. He is very, very close to gravity on those 14-lap-old mediums as gravity comes into the pits anyway. So actually, Hamjam may have a chance of going for the move here, but Dominic will have slipstream, so I think they're going to be following each other into turn 1 and for the rest of the lap. By the looks of it, as we go on board with Libero. Libero's got the move done on Danny, round to the outside. Danny trying to hold on, but Libero gets the move done, and he will have slipstream down the next straight as we see Kyle's ghost off the track there. Yep, so Libero's made the move done into P3.
And that's the thing there as well, Merc. I just realised that Libero's on the hard tyres. He's going to go to the end, so he's effectively the net lead.
Well, it's going to be a stretch to take those hards, 31 laps. But I think it is possible. We'll have to wait and see to see if he does come into pits, but I think Buckley and Urban ahead will have to pit again at some point. Hamjam now struggling to keep on the back of Dominic by the looks of it. Still in that DRS range. See if he gets into this final sector.
In the DRS zone there, Mickey, on that lap there, on lap 21, Hamjam chose to put the ERS back down to none and just sit in the slipstream to try and harvest. And that might have effectively cost him as he's getting DRS. He's still in DRS, but I think it's just nothing more.
He's getting a slipstream from his teammate, but he will be held up in the middle sector as we see Buckley and Urban have pitted for fresh mediums. And Buckley has come out ahead of Bruno Will. So Buckley with a good chance in this race as well if he's got the pace to get a good result. But yeah, he is ahead of Bruno Will. You see Dominic has made a move past his teammate Danny. Didn't look too difficult from the Red Bull team.
The Red Bulls put Danny in between the two. Danny's going to be acting as the rear gunner for his teammate, who is on course. Well, he's no actually on course to seal the deal here, but he is on a charge for the championship, season 16. So how efficient will Danny be in terms of holding up Hamjam to try and give Dominic that breathing room that he needs up front? He did have a 7.5 second gap when they were all pitting for soft, another set of medium tyres, and with the penalty in play, it's really brought Hamjam into the fray to try and get the race win on track anyway. I mean, Dominic will probably That doesn't really do too much of a job there, actually. He's just pulled off into the pits and he's speeding into the pit lane as well. So
Dominic's going to make an easy move on KF Liberty for the lead of this race. So Hamjam has lost a lot of time in those exchanges. He is 1.6 behind, and obviously Dominic has got past Libero already. So it's going to be difficult for him to come back and challenge Dominic for the victory, but we'll see what he can do. As we see Danny coming into the pits for a fresh set of mediums. Matty, there's a massive battle here for what looks like P8. Matty holding off Jamham into turn 1, and Eke's also involved in this little scrap.
Is anybody going to have any solid run? Jamham's looking on the back of Matty, but he isn't close enough to find out break him into 4. But Matty does go wide, though, so Jamham might try to switch back to turn 5. Will have the inside for 6. He gets good traction up the inside, the double apex. Matty does go a bit wide there, but he is going to have the inside if he is still side by side, which he's not.
But this is going to be a massive train break later on in the race. This is going to be a huge battle for P8. So we've got, what, 6 cars, 7 cars? All the way down to possibly even Fusion if he can get onto the back of this. So it's for the final points of position. Says Matty's up the inside, and Eke's.
Eke got a slide on the rear of that McLaren on the AstroTurf on the exit there.
As we see, Hamdan, making a move on Libero. Libero is fighting it into turn 1, but Hamdan's going to have a great run out of turn 3. DRS is open for him. He's in the slipstream. He's going to flick to the right-hand side. Is he going to hold it all the way around the outside here? Libero outbreaks him a little bit, but Hamdan with the inside line for the next corner is going to get the move done. He'll just hold on into the next corner. He does, and he is past Libero. So we'll flip back now to this battle.
Oh, let me see what's happening here. Oh, there's more cars in this train now, Mercury.
Yeah, it's a massive train.
An addition. Oh,
puff of smoke into
the braking zone of 4. So this is effectively for Jamham and Churka in 8th, all the way down to 14th. So the final 3 points positions are up for grabs here, and there's 7 drivers in the fight for them. So we'll just need to see how this unfolds in the final 13 laps.
And Gravity become very, very racy to get back past DJ Danny. Danny goes defensive into entry of the stadium section. As they're all just in line astern through this final sector, nowhere to overtake through there. They're all going to just try and line themselves up, and it looks like Matty's had a very poor exit, and Danny's already pushing him pretty much down the pitch straight. He's got DRS open. Doesn't look like Matty has got DRS, sorry, I do apologise. Danny going very defensive, trying to defend from Gravity, make sure he doesn't get the inside line, but Gravity's going to have a look. He's not quite close enough down the inside. Fusion looking to get past Matty as well. He has done. Matty's dropped down to P14. Fusion's run a bit wide. So Fusion up to P13.
And Gravity just looking up the front left there again. Turn 4 seems to be an issue in terms of braking for some of these drivers. I've seen a lot of smoke being kicked up for the front tyres into that braking zone there as well, Mercury. So a few drivers still trying to find the feeling on the brakes there into that section. But Maldi's retired for the session. What's happening?
On track by the looks of it. Is that going to trigger a safety car?
His car's parked up on the rundon.
I think he's had enough in this race. So that's his race over. Another disappointing one, to say the least. No safety car as of yet. They seem to have cleared the car, so no safety car at the moment. And it looks like this battle seems to have spread out a little bit. They're all within DRS. Quite close enough to make a move into turn 1. Looks like Danny's the closest out of all of them.
If there's one thing that I've noticed in this wee train, Mercury, is that Churka's having the same issues that he did in Japan in terms of his ERS management. Churka's in only 5% down into the braking zone of turn 4. So I mean, when he brakes, it obviously regenerates it, and he got 14.
Got Matty, exit of turn 3. He has spun. Looked like it was on his own. He's struggled on those hard tyres since he came out. When the rain stopped, been a difficult race for him. He's not looking to score any points this race by the looks of it, unless there is a safety car later on.
I feel like the safety car would Maldi brought the safety car out there with his retirement. That could have definitely brought him back into the fray, but nothing really happening there. But Chucka's ERS management is a bit better now than what it was at the start of the lap. But in this train, it's DJ Danny who sits with 95%. Basically a full tank
He's
of
on
ERS
100 now,
ready to be deployed down this straight. But everybody's going to have DRS as well, Mercury, so the overtaking is really going to be...
He can't quite match Eke in that final sector, just really hurting his chances of trying to make a move. Obviously, as we said, turn 1 being the biggest overtaking opportunity of the lap. So he's really struggling, but yeah, as you said, if he gets a good exit over here, yeah, Eke still doesn't have DRS, because the detection point is still back at the exit of the final corner. Danny not quite close enough to make the move.
Danny's looking a lot more punchier than Eke. Eke's just looking really conservative on these tyres. Isn't he really clipping all the apexes here as we're riding on board with Danny? Well, I'm riding on board with Danny. He's no clipping the apexes. He is just drifting past them. Doesn't seem to affect these lap times too much, but Danny is hooking them up time and again. He is ready to make a move. It's just a matter of when, Mercury. It really is. Eke is no in the DRS at Jamham either, so Eke will be a sitting duck. But Danny, as you were saying, does they hook up the last sector though? He needs to do it if he wants to get past that in turn 1, where I feel that's going to be his best opportunity.
Sorry, Briggsy, just a button, flicking back to the front. Buckley is very, very close to Libero. He's going to try and make a move into turn 1. He's up the inside. They're going to be side by side. Oh, he's forced him very wide. That's very aggressive from Buckley. Libero seems to stay on the track. He's gotten away with that one. And now Buckley's going to have a great exit to try and make a move again into turn 4. Will he do it? In the slipstream, he seems to have lifted off. I think he did lift off through turn 2 there. Riggsy, I think he made a mistake and let Libero have the position. As you see, Danny has made a move on Eke, and they've made a bit of contact there, I think. So, action up and down the field, but Danny has made the move on Eke into P10.
Danny getting himself up into the points. Jamham's 14 laps on the hard tyres. He's only 2 seconds. You can see him there on board with Danny, and you can see Chucka as well. So, 8th place for Danny. Might be a... Wouldn't it be... unrealistic? I definitely think he's capable of doing it, especially on the fresher rubber, and when they start hitting the cliff in like the late laps, then this has been Danny's chance to get these points are at his optimum. So DJ Danny really putting the hammer down and trying to claw back Chucka and Jam for some decent points.
Watch Buckley
there as well.
He's going to try and make a move again, and Libero seems to be in saving ERS there. There's an easy move for Buckley into P3. So he is sitting originally on the podium for now. As we flip back to Urban Unicorn, going to make a move on TX3 Enzo as well. He's been eyeing that move up for a while, and he gets that done before the braking zone. Easy move for him.
And places up and down the field. Urban Unicorn up into 6th there, which we're saying. Eke no close enough to Danny to go and try and get the place back, but trying to shape the car up for a run maybe down to turn 4. Eke picking up 3-second time penalty there for track limits there as well. But Buckley on Liberal made the move so much earlier on the straight to turn 1, and that's the main reason why I got it done. Buckley left it into the braking zone, giving Liberal the chance to defend it, whereas Liberal didn't have anybody in front on that lap there to have any slipstream or DRS off it, and that just let Buckley slide down the inside take the place. Ham jammed only 3.1 seconds on the road, so is Buckley going to have the pace to try and claw in the Mercedes as well and take P2? I think Dominic might be a bit of a stretch.
Well, did you want to check the penalties or the warnings in this race?
So we can get an idea of that. I will do that. Yep, I'll do that for you now. Yep. Let me see, I'll just watch. Yeah. Right, okay, right. Ham jams get 3 warnings but no penalty. So it's interesting.
Okay.
Buckley's got 2 penalties on the brink of a 3rd. Liberal is on the 1 penalty.
Is there any for Dominic?
On the brink of a 2nd. What, sorry?
Any penalties or warnings for Dominic?
Other than that 5-second time penalty, Dominic does not have a single warning.
So, yeah. Dominic seems to be dominant out in front yet again. Anything can happen later in this race.
Definitely been in control, even with the stewards, well, the game stewards 5-second time penalty for a corner cutting infringement. playing a part, did bring him closer to Hamjam, who was trying to bring the Red Bull back into touching distance and try and make the move, but Dominic once again just, as soon as he got the medium tyres up and running, he just galloped out the stable and ran down the field. So he's been just pretty much untouchable, even with a penalty, to try and bring him back into the field. He's just been winning his own race out front, Mercury. Absolutely flawless drive.
Yeah, he has. He seemed to just get away at the start and never look back, but Bruno Will is on a late charge here to see if he can possibly get himself onto the podium. He's on the back of KF Libera at the moment, so he needs to try and dispatch of him very quickly. He seems to be saving the RS at the moment, so he doesn't want to go for the move just yet. We see Gravity possibly lining up a move up the inside of Eke. I think it's better of it into turn one. As Eke goes very wide though, and Gravity now may have the switch back in Williams. He is going to pull alongside. Eke also seems to have the RS from car in front. So we see him going into turn 4 again. Gravity's going to try and hold it around the outside. He is now got the inside. The next corner is they're side by side still. Eke leaves him room as Gravity's up the inside again. Sticks his nose in, but Eke just holds it all the way around the outside. Had the better line through that sequence of corners, and he holds the position for now.
Eke just really acting as a bit of a roadblock here for Gravity. Gravity on the 10 lap old mediums, Eke on 14. Eke's just not really going to look to sell this race, Mercury. He did start 7th. Wait there, I'm looking at the wrong thing. He did start 8th, sorry. He started 8th and he's sitting in 11th, so he's just kind of went backwards this race. Definitely not been finding a rhythm.
Bruno Will up the inside.
And that McLaren.
So he's side by side with Libero into turn 1. He's got the switchback move perfection. KF Libero made a big mistake there, but Bruno Will does get the position. I'm not sure if he went deep there or not, as we see a lot of action, Riggsy as well. Back down the field, Janham's got past Churka. Gravity is past Eke. And I believe that is the only movement we've seen. But we'll see Danny now. Danny right on the back of Churka. He's going to try and go for a move around the outside. Tries to break it out.
Red Bull
break him. Ferrari squeezing him, but he makes a great move around the outside. Churka's going to get the switch back though. They're going to go side by side yet again. Churka up the inside. He backs out a little bit. They're still side by side. And exactly the same as what Eke done.
Danny keeps the place.
Yeah, exactly what Eke did the previous lap. Danny has kept the place from Churka, so he's up into P9.
Brilliant defending and brilliant manoeuvre at first, and then brilliant defending there for DJ Danny up into 9th there as well. Bruno Will did make the move on Libero into turn 4. No, turn 2, sorry, where it just looked like, I think Libero just kind of went wide. Yeah. Bruno Will's looked for the switchback and the car just stepped out of place.
He seems to just make a bit of a mistake into turn 2, which has given Bruno Will... Wow, Bruno Will's pulled a 3-second gap, to Libero already, so... That shows you what he could have done in clean air. We'll see if he can catch up to the back of Buckley by the end of this race. Buckley has reeled in Hamjam as well, so we'll keep an eye on that as Fusion now goes past Eke as he drops all the way to 13th. And if they stay how they are, Riggsy, Eke's championship hopes will be over in this race.
It's just not been... I mean, last time out in Japan, he picked up some damage into turn 1 on the first lap on the start, and here he's just not been... It's very uncharacteristic of Eke to be this far down squabbling for basically like what is going to be the wooden spoon. Like, he's normally up in the points, at least in the high end of the points, to challenging for the win, and the last couple of races just haven't been that for him. I don't know if it's just like a general lack of confidence in the circuits that we're at, we're running up and through, just the setups, just anything that can really just play a part. Anything's playing a part on Eke's in his mind. So I don't know what's really going on with him, but it's very out of character for Eke. I don't really know what else to say about it, Mercury.
He's probably going for fastest lap, but he's not going to get the point for it. But yeah, Churka peels into the pits onto a set of softs. But yeah, with you saying that Eke, obviously he's had a tough season overall. It was a good start. Obviously we saw him at the start of last season. He was absolutely dominant, winning 3 races on the bounce. And then they sort of traded blows between him, Urban and Dominic. But will see him now trying to make a move onto Fusion. Doesn't quite get close enough, as we see, as I said, Buckley now in DRS range of Hamjam for P2 in this race. As we said, Buckley does have a couple of penalties, but Ham may pick up another one at the end of this race. So this is anybody's position to fight for, really. We'll see if Bruno will catch up to the back of that train as well. But we'll see him exit the final corner now. Starts lap 34.
Immediately on the defensive.
Hamjam's harvesting. Hamjam's letting Buckley through. So that may be due to the fact that he knows that Buckley's got penalties, doesn't want to fight and lose time to Bruno Will.
That's very conflicting there, Mercury. Hamjam immediately went onto the defensive on the exit of the final turn to completely shut off that route for Buckley, and then just decided, alright, cool, we'll just flick it down to no ERS space.
I think he was setting him up so
I think
Buckley could go on the racing line and come through, I would assume. But yeah, I think tactically, as we see, Danny and Gravity fighting, tactically for Hamjam, that's probably the best move. Obviously, we want to see them fight. Talking about fighting, we do see Gravity going for a move on DJ Danny on the outside. Can he hold it? Danny's trying to outbrake him, but Gravity gets the move done. He's at the inside for the next line, and he should have it covered. But Danny gets a great exit with a switchback, and he's now up the inside. And they make a bit of contact mid-corner, but Gravity seems to be able to hold the move. I'm not sure if Danny's going to be able to go on the outside. He's not. Gravity gets the move done on DJ Danny. And up into P9. So we'll see if Danny can hold on to the back of him, as Gravity picks up a penalty there as well. He's gained a lot of time there, actually.
Everybody, like, see, it was a really close race at first, but everybody still is in touching distance.
Well, they've
DRS
spaced a bit,
are
haven't
not
they?
close enough for that.
Not quite in the DRS range most of the time. We've seen the bottom half of the points. I've had quite a good scrap this race. Up front it's been on and off. As Danny's got a mega run with the slipstream with DRS. Gravity is harvesting and it's going to be down the inside into turn 1. Looks like an easy move for him. Will Gravity go for the switchback? It looks like he will try and set himself up, but Danny will have DRS down this straight, so he's not going to be able to fight him, as Churka sets the fastest lap of the race on his soft tyres.
That the Red Bull there, the Honda engine just putting itself to work on that straight, Mercury. The car was hitting at least 215 miles per hour down that straight with the DRS and slipstream both in effect, as well as the disbursement of the energy that they harvest throughout this race. So the car really hitting its peak there on the straight. It's the fastest you'll see the cars go, albeit they kind of go a wee bit faster itself, but that's another conversation. But Danny really putting that engine to work there and getting past that Gravity up into P9 in this race, as Matty keeps picking up penalties at the bottom of my screen, so I see, as he gets a penalty for speeding into the pits. I think his race is done as well, Mercury. Not really too much there that he can save it on. Toxic Fusion's got a big slide on through the stadium section there. I think he just put the throttle down a wee bit too hard there. Heavy right foot, and the car just gets sent into a slide. Fortunate enough, still facing the same way. Yellow flags in the third. Don't know what
Gravity's going to go for the move yet again. Try and make me the outside.
see.
Danny defends it perfectly. I will quickly mention, Riggsy, if you look at the gap for Bruno Will and Hamjam, there could be a battle at the end of this race. Gravity with a big slide will go on board with Bruno Will to see what he can do in this final lap. As Dominic's just approaching the final sector now. It doesn't look like he's going to get close enough to make the move on Hamjam. It's only the final sector, so we'll go on board with Dominic as he goes through the stadium section. All the fans rising to applaud him. It's been a very dominant race yet again from him. He had a big old slide for the final corner, but that's it. He takes the victory here in Mexico. Takes a big step towards the championship. He won't secure it tonight, but he could do next week, as Hamjam takes P2. A great result again from him. 3 podiums in a row. Bruno Will does take the final step of the podium. We will look behind to see if Gravity can get the move done. It doesn't look like he can. So it'll be Sync Buckley just missing out on the podium in P4. Kea Filibero will finish P5. Urban Unicorn with a quiet race in P6. Jam Ham just finishing ahead of Enzo in the end. Danny beating Gravity to P9, and Gravity picking up the final point in this Grand Prix.
It's been a very thrilling race there, as you were saying. Janham just getting P7 off Enzo there on penalties. Domi will be coming through the stadium section will be the final runner to see the checkered flag. The green monitor there, just open green there. The checkered flag will be waving on the right on the gantry, and he just decides to take the main racing line. Everybody else was coming to the pit wall there to see their team and celebrate with their team there, but Domi just chose to keep the main racing line there. But 13 for him in the last of the runners. Oh, it's been a really thrilling race, Mercury. I've really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad one. I think there could have been a bit more of a fight up front. Obviously, Dominic, absolute dominant again in Mexico, and that is why he is so far ahead in the championship. But we saw a few drivers going for different strategies, and it was changing throughout, so a good race overall, I'd say.
Definitely a day like races that pose, it kind of put you in a place of critical thinking, trying to work out like what the strategies were going to be, like how they're setting up the cars. And I mean, I would like a battle up front, but I mean, they kind of compensated for battles up and down the field. As everybody but the front two pick up penalties in this race through corner cutting and track extending. But Dominic, as we saw on the top step, he is our race winner. Hamjam there in P2 in a Mercedes. Another strong result there for the Mercedes driver. Bruno Wilt, after a disastrous start and a bit of contact with Buckley, finishes third at the end of the day. Buckley, who was the culprit there, ends up fourth. Liberal in P5. Urban Unicorn 6th. Jamham 7th, so Haas 6 and 7. Enzo in 8th. DJ Danny in 9th. And Gravity rounded out the points. Eki just kind of losing form a bit in 11th place. Toxic Fusion 12th. And Domi 13th and last of the runners. And we're going to try and get the podium lads in for was getting the lads in for a quick interview. Oh, wait there.
We will get Buckley in for an interview, as Bruno Will doesn't have a mic, I believe, so we will get those three in for a quick qualifying interview, for a post-race interview. I believe Dominic cannot have an interview either, so it will be just Hamjam and Buckley for this one. So we'll go to Hamjam first, so both of you, if you could include your audios, and we'll give you a quick interview from the race. So yeah, Hamjam, we'll start with you. I think that's the third podium in a row. I mean, again, good strategy call, kept yourself out of trouble, and you've reaped the rewards again. How did you feel the race went? Obviously there was a period where you possibly could have kept with Dominic. Did you ever feel that you were going to challenge for the victory, or was it a bit out of reach?
Yeah, I mean, I somewhat looked into it because Dominic got a 5-second penalty somewhere, just a lap or so before he pitted. But I mean, I wasn't really losing a great deal of time to him. I was losing about a tenth or so a lap. So, I mean, I felt I would have been able to stick with him, but just got held up trying to get past Libero. So, but obviously he was perfectly entitled to do that, fighting for position. I mean, I think P2 is probably where my pace was at. The tyres went off at the end, but I knew Buckley had a couple of penalties, so I just didn't want to risk it because I had 2 warnings since about lap 10. So I was just taking pretty easy at the end there, and didn't want to lose out on a podium here like I did last season. So yeah, no complaints again, really.
Well, obviously, if going back to last season, as you just mentioned, it was a very good race for you again. I think, again, you were holding on to Dominic for most of the race, just as you were this season. Is this one of the tracks that you most look forward to, or was it just a mix of the setup, the conditions, and how the race just panned out?
I'd say it's definitely one of my better tracks. Yeah, I do enjoy driving it as well. I changed my setup only a couple of hours before the race, so maybe that did have something to do with it. It definitely felt better than the one I have been running. But yeah, I mean, again, I think it's just one of those tracks that I'm seemingly quite decent at.
One more question for you, Ham. We've seen your improvement during this season in particular as it's gone on. Obviously, as I said, 3 consecutive podiums now, and a P2 in this one. When's the race victory going to come?
I don't know. I think I need a bit of luck to get that. I mean, I don't think the pace is quite there yet, but as you say, it's definitely improving. Yeah, I mean, you never know. I could find myself in a good position on pace or with a bit of luck, but I think you need a bit of both sometimes, and hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later.
We hope so as well. But very well done on your P2 in this race.
Cheers.
Okay, we'll go on to Sink Buckley. A good race from you. I think the pace was solid from start to finish. Obviously, just missing out on the podium due to penalties. In practice, did you feel as if that was going to be your downfall, or were you just a bit unlucky?
In practice, I actually was doing alright in penalties. I don't think I didn't have as many warnings as I did in the actual race. So maybe that's due to pressure or something like that, or myself. I made those mistakes, but race pace. I got a monstrous start to start. It was that wet conditions. I went from P4 to P2. I think it was like 5 wide or some.
Yeah, we saw that in turn 1.
Stuff like that. So it was crazy that we're going like 5 or 6 wide. I was really lucky to come out ahead of that with no damage or anything. But
Well,
speaking
on that, you did make a bit of contact into turn 1 with, was it Libero?
I think it was what's his name?
Bruno.
TX3 Enzo.
Oh,
I think it was.
I think
Enzo,
there was there was a bit of contact between you and another driver, and it sort of caused a chain reaction. Do you feel that stewards are going to look into that and possibly anything's going to be given on that?
Turn 1, lap 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Roundabout. From my point of view, I can't actually remember. Yeah, I can't actually remember. There's a lap 1 and all I remember was us going 5 wide, and it was crazy.
And one last thing from you. We saw throughout the race, quite early on, there was a few incidences with, I think you and Libero, a few bits of contact. Again, what was your view on that? Did you feel that he pushed you a bit too much? Or again, was it a bit of a racing incident?
It was me, Libero, when I was going to turn 1, that was completely my fault. I went too deep into turn 1 and I hit him. I did leave him go back through, and I turned down my ERS and fuel going on to the next rate, so got a chance to keep the position for a while. I had another incident with Enzo then. Well, first of all, he was passing me into turn 1. He just went to me and I almost lost my things. So I just do the same, and however my main laps ahead, I just give him his own medicine. Yes, his own medicine.
Well,
work sometimes.
Either way, well done on your P4, and I think the podium will be coming again by the end of the season. So very well done, and good luck for next week. Well, for everybody that tuned in tonight, everybody that's watching on YouTube or back on Twitch, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Riggsy, for joining me in the commentary box yet again. It was a very entertaining race. We head to USA next week, as I said. Sorry, Riggsy. Just completely cut you off.
I was like, I was going to start saying something, you just went on again. I was like, alright, okay. Oh, no, honest, I was just going to basically say, it was great to be back, just the usual. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the kind of wet start, and then that kind of brought in different strategies, different setups, and the scene battles up and down the field. Like, it was a really great race to watch and to commentate once again.
Well, yeah, as I was saying, we will see you next week for USA, and then it will be followed by Abu Dhabi and Brazil as the finale. No champion crown tonight, but make sure to tune in next week as Dominic is going to look to pick up a few points. It was all it will take for him to take the season 16 crown. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.